Hey guys, so yeah, this will be another entry, and I'm going to talk about my predictions and my thoughts, I guess, about WrestleMania 29, which is happening in about 4.5 hours UK time. So I'll start. I've got the list here off a wrestling website giving me the apparent final card. So the first match, it seems to be the pre-show of The Miz versus Wade Barrett. This surprised, annoyed, and somewhat shocked me that they would put the Intercontinental title as the pre-show. Regardless of who's in the match, that belt is significant. It's, to me, I think it's it's one of the ones that I always preferred the Intercontinental belt, always. Even though I don't think Hogan ever won it, but I don't know, it always had that. I liked how it looked. I liked the more oval kind of shape, back in the day, and then how it is now, and obviously now it's gone back in the days one. It just always, appealed to me, and it's always that. It was almost like whoever's battling for the IC belt, you had. It was always going to be in a few months or a year or so, then you were going to start to see what potentially could happen in the feuds going on, because it was always a progression. IC belt, WWE belt, and I always found with the Intercontinental title actually that there was more, like the matches were more interesting, like the ladder matches. I mean, all you got really with the WWE title, WWF title was, just basically two big guys who can barely wrestle, throwing each other about for 20-30 minutes because they haven't got the last ability or the stamina to carry on to hold a good match. Probably most of them couldn't even wrestle anyway if they tried. They're just put in there because Vince loves these big, muscly men to just chuck each other about. But I'm disappointed. I'm a fan of The Miz. I have been since he came. I felt just give him a chance. Everybody hated him because he was a reality star. Well, I'm sorry, I never fucking heard of him. I'm sure that the only people that probably knew he was on the real world are people that fucking watched the program, who, or maybe you saw, like me, I didn't watch it, but I saw on wrestling sites. But just, whatever. He's in the WWE. Why people got to hate? And Wade Barrett, he's English. I'm English. I want badly for someone to become the first English WWE World Heavyweight Champion. I mean, obviously, I wished it could have been British Bulldog, but who will know why he never really got it? Probably drugs, but I don't know why he never got it, rather. And The Miz, I mean, like Barrett's, he was injured last year, couldn't compete. Sort of done a really bad injury to his arm. And then this year, you think, and he was apparently scheduled to win the Money in the Bank if they had done one. Obviously, they cancelled it. And then this year, obviously, I guess they couldn't really still do the Money in the Bank because Ziggler hasn't cashed in. But yeah, The Miz headlined 2 years ago. Won the match last year for Teddy, and and you got Wade Barrett, who is kind of one of the future people. So I don't get it, and who knows? But then hopefully I'm thinking for Wade Barrett at least. Look what happened with Sheamus. He got bumped to the pre-show 2 years ago. Incidentally, the year Miz headlined, and he won the title in 18 seconds the year later against the same person. But and then it says here we have the Brodus Clay, Tensai, or Sweet Tea, Cameron and Naomi versus Cody Rhodes, Sandow, the Bella Twins. Now, Brodus Clay, Tensai, I don't know, hasn't really hit his peak of Albert, no way. Cameron and Naomi, not really. I'm opinionless of those two, really. They haven't really done enough, I don't think, to warrant me to even think about them. Cody Rhodes and Damon Sandow, what the fuck is the WWE doing with them? If they're going to be a tag team, they need to have the belts. Why they've kept them on Team Hell No for how long now? Since like SummerSlam or something stupid? Like, what is the point? Like, Bryan and Kane had a good chemistry anyway. It was an unusual, and it was like, what the fuck? But with all the comedy skits, they do not need the strap. It's what they need to, the same thing with Cena. Cena never leads the strap. Just put Cena in interesting, even though Cena's always going to win. But, still, Cena doesn't need the strap. He doesn't need to keep having the strap. It's like you keep giving someone the belt to make them look good. Triple H. But You know, but why they have not allowed Cody Rhodes? I mean, Cody Rhodes and Sandow should have been champions singly, easily. I mean, I know Cody Rhodes had the IC belt, I think, well, obviously a year ago, I think. But, like, you know, it just seems to me... And the feuds they get fighting with Epico and Primo, I mean, I'm sorry, like, I don't ever disrespect anyone who's on WWE, but Jesus, like, stop, you know, treating Team Rhodes Scholars like they're just, like, you know, pretty much like they are, like, a Brodus Clay and Tenzai right now, who I don't really even know what they're going to do, but I bet Brodus Clay and Sweet Tea get the titles before Cody and Sandow, and one reason I think that is because I'm thinking tonight that Dolph Ziggler and Langston take the belts. I mean, I'm hoping they don't, because I want Cody Rhodes and Sandow to have the belts, but having two heels, it never happens. You never get two heels fighting each other, and I don't know why. Unless they're scared that over one match someone's going to go, ooh, you know, I quite like, you know, for example, CM Punk versus Swagger. You know, perhaps someone, even though Punk a legend anyway, but you know, it's a bit like a bit stupid. So yeah, I mean, you know, I'm hoping that Team Rhodes Scholars wins this one. But yeah, so that's gonna be my first pick. So Rhodes Scholars. Next we have Fandango versus Chris Jericho. Now Jericho, I marked out so hard when he came back at the Rumble. I had no idea. I didn't avoid wrestling sites even on purpose. I just didn't think to look. But oh my god, I was sitting there, you know, it was about 2 o'clock in the morning, our time, no, 3 o'clock, yeah, something like that. And all of a sudden, yeah, you had Dolph Ziggler. So I thought, okay, I kind of predicted that Ziggler would last quite a while because he's a worker, you know. He just likes to, you know, the more he's out there, the more legit wrestling fans appreciate him. And yeah, and he should have, you know, and like he took everyone by surprise. But again, he's come back. It's quite hard to even think who he's fought so far. I mean, obviously the Royal Rumble he didn't do too well in. The Elimination Chamber he got beat, but put up a good performance. And obviously there's been 6 weeks or so since the last pay-per-view, so you know he's kind of just fought Cesaro now and again. You know, he's sort of had a few little, you know, Jack Swagger. That'd be an interesting match actually, Y2J versus Jack Sparrow. But yeah, and yeah. So again, obviously, clearly Jericho's come back. He's worked with the more greener people. He's trying to get them over or help establish, you know, help legitimize them. Awesome. You know, it's good that some legends are happy to come back and help the WWE more than help their own pockets. And that's enough said about that. But Fandango, I mean, my view on this is that if Jericho is willing to go back for Fandango to be in a match with him, because Jericho, let's be honest, Jericho is not gonna. I don't think he has too much integrity to be put in a match that is not going to be good. You know, too many, especially Jericho has such a short time with WWE now in his little spurts and stuff. He does, yeah. I'm just predicting this one that Jericho's obviously going to carry Fandango. I'm going to say Fandango's going to win because I hope not, but I just don't see the point of Fandango, you know, building him up only to lose his first match to Jericho. And obviously, if you beat Jericho, that gives you a, you know, because this isn't, Jericho losing. This is a chance, you know, this is almost, I'll reference maybe Hogan versus Warrior. You know, in that match, it wasn't so much Hogan lost, it was, like, we're going to propel the Warrior. And look what happened, no one gave a fuck after Warrior won. Obviously, that was for a title, and like they were two quite big stars. Well, obviously Hogan massive, but you know, but Fandango, I just hope to God that, I mean, as I say, I'm sure Chris Jericho has been working with him behind the scenes and been getting him up to scratch, you know. And I think, and quote Jericho on Twitter a few weeks ago, said he's the real deal when asked about Fandango's, you know, how good he can be. So yeah, I'll go for Fandango. I'll go brain over heart on that one. But either way, I think it'd be a good match. And if it is 10 minutes like I've heard, that's a joke. But anyway, Ryback versus Mark Henry. Did somebody say Goldberg Lesnar from about 9 years ago? I just don't care about this match personally. I don't know what they're trying to do with Ryback. I'm assuming he'll be challenging Cena for the belt or something. I don't know, but the thing with Ryback is if they really want him to be the face of the company, unless he starts having a personality now, people aren't gonna come out going, I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, Cena has that clean cut look, the stereotypical look, the look that can be a face of a company. Ryback, I don't know. I just don't think so. Unless he, I mean, like Batista's probably, in my opinion, the only big guy that got over. But then he had to grow his hair out a bit, so I don't know. Or it seemed that way. So I don't know. I mean, perhaps Ryback can be the face of the company. Mark Henry, I think he's just collecting paychecks now. He had his whole Hall of Pain world heavyweight title thing. He had that ended way too early. He could have been a dominant force for a little while longer. He had a really good thing going, but then the injuries and who knows. So for that one, I'm going to say Ryback because it's about as obvious as bears shitting in the woods, I would say. Or Michael Cole to go vintage Randy Orton or vintage somebody tonight. But yeah, next match we have Sheamus, Big Show, Blandy Borton, Seth Rollins, Ambrose and Reigns. Well, the Shield probably going to win this. But what I'm intrigued about and what I want to happen is if Randy Orton is supposed to go heel, which God I hope, I want Randy Orton to turn, and I reckon it's going to be on Sheamus because Sheamus is the big face of that team. The big face that isn't likely to go bad. And I think they see more money in Randy Orton going heel again and more interest than Sheamus. If Sheamus goes heel, yeah, I preferred Sheamus as a heel with a baby face, smile, cheesy smiles, thumbs up to the fans, yay, woo, woo, woo. But yeah, Sheamus is back, but I just think that I think Sheamus like is more suited to a babyface role than compared to Randy Orton. Because Randy Orton is only now started to engage with the fans. I mean, why only now? When before he just went out there, he was the same guy. I mean, I'm not saying switch up your persona, start doing cheesy smiles, but at least Randy Orton should have engaged with the fans a little bit more. Like even as the Legend Killer, I will always prefer the Legend Killer over this Viper guy. But I like to be entertained rather. Seth Rollins, Jeff Hardy kind of thing, but that's a compliment. Ambrose, great technician. Roman Reigns, the muscle, but also has a look and seems to have a bit of a personality. Which but all them three have time on their side. I see Roman Reigns as kind of maybe a bit like The Rock, perhaps. A bit bigger, darker skinned, has that swag look about him. But this one I'm going to say the Shield to win, and my personal hope and little dream is that Randy Orton, so Randy Orton somehow cost the match because the Big Show, who knows what the Big Show, I don't think the Big Show knows if he's heel or, I mean the Big Show's only involved in this to even the numbers. So so if what I've heard is true and Randy Orton is supposed to go heel and the Big Show will just do whatever he does and Sheamus is going to stay babyface, I'm going to say Randy Orton probably cost Sheamus the match. And I would actually I'd love that to happen, or Randy Orton to be heel anyway, but at least I wouldn't mind Randy Orton joining the Shield as their leader.